start with Harrison Wind.
Wasn't expecting to go first there, but hey, Michael.
Gotta be ready, Harrison. You gotta be ready, man. No excuses.
Nikola had 17 of his 39 in the fourth. Helped close the game for you down the stretch. I guess how comforting is it to have a closer like that? And just what was your impression of how he closed out the game tonight?
Impressive. I just kept imploring our guys. Every play call for me was to get him the ball, to play through him. And when it wasn't a play call, just imploring our guys to make sure he touched it. Obviously, he was having a great game, a great fourth quarter, and good things were happening every time he played through him. And tonight, I was seeing that fourth, mostly him scoring the basketball. So that's the luxury of having an MVP candidate. I see all these conversations about who would you want to start a franchise with? And I've never seen Nikola's name mentioned, and I'm dumbfounded by that. My nominee, I'm going to write in a nominee, Nikola Jokic, is a guy that I like to build a franchise with, like we've done here in Denver and had great success with. So very comforting. And we have 2 more games on this road trip. Terrific start, Harrison, but we have a tough one tomorrow night in Milwaukee.
Mike Singer.
Yeah, Michael, to follow up on that, what does it say about him when he's able to kind of compartmentalize and play through kind of some frustration, some physicality, and almost just welcome that scoring burden in the fourth quarter? What is that sort of a new layer to him?
It just defines his greatness, and he was frustrated. That's why I took that tech. He scored a basket in the first half, and I picked that tech up on purpose. I've got to continue to fight for Nikola more and more. Obviously tonight, 39 points, 14 boards, 1 assist shy of a triple-double. But I'm just trying to fight for him to get the calls that I think he deserves. So I took that one on purpose to show him that I and we have his back. But him welcoming that fourth quarter responsibility to close a team out speaks to his greatness. I mean, simply stated, he is a unbelievable player, never shies away from the moment. How many clutch plays has he hit in his 6-year career? And he's still 25 years old. And that to me is the most exciting part about Nikola Jokic. He's going to continue to get better and play at an elite level.
Joel Rush.
Hey, Coach. Vlatko Čančar played the most minutes of any bench player tonight, and I was wondering if that was kind of something you conceived of going in, or if that just kind of unfolded as the game progressed.
Joel, I got a question for you, man. Are you ever excited? You have the most monotone questions I've ever heard, man.
I'm sorry.
Don't apologize. That's who you are, man. I love it. Don't apologize ever for who you are. I'm only breaking your balls a little bit. That's all. No, you know what? I knew with no Facu, no RJ, no Marcus, no Paul, no Jamichael, no Gary, that we were going to have to get some guys in the game that maybe aren't a part of your regular rotation. And with so many smalls out, we're going to have to get creative. So I planned on going in to get Vlatko in the first quarter and third quarter around the 6-minute mark for Jamal. So then I could bring Jamal back to close the first and third and start him in the second and fourth. So that was definitely the plan, to get Vlatko in. PJ is under a minute restriction. I wanted to keep him right around 18 minutes. Obviously, Zeke and Isaiah were the other guys off the bench. And Vlatko, I just told him this. The stat sheet says he was a minus 16 in his 21 minutes. I thought Vlatko played really well for us, gave us some good minutes, 8 points, 4 boards, and I was proud of him for staying ready.
Ashley Neville.
Hey, Coach, congrats on the win. I know that we've been talking about Nikola Jokic and how he dominates on the floor every night, but he's also one of those guys that doesn't really like to bring all the attention to himself when we talk about his accolades. What does that say about the kind of person that he is?
Yeah, Ashley, I think, one of the pillars, if you will, of our culture with the Denver Nuggets is being selfless. We're a work team, a selfless team, and a team that trusts each other. And I think Nikola embodies all those things, but he really embodies being a selfless individual. As you stated, whether he had 39 or 9 tonight, we won the game. He's happy with that. If somebody else scores 50 points, he's happy for that player. It's never about Nikola. It's always about the group. And when your best player kind of embodies your identity as much as Nikola does, that sets the tone for everybody else in the building. So, and the guy that I compare Nikola to in that regard is Tim Duncan. I'm not saying he's Tim Duncan. Tim Duncan's arguably the greatest power forward to ever play the game. All I'm saying is that Tim Duncan was a world champion, and he was probably the most humble guy that you ever saw. Nikola carries himself in the same light. We've been pretty good. We've never won a championship yet. That's our goal. But Nikola is just happy to be a part of the group, help us win, and doesn't want the spotlight or attention, as you mentioned. And I really admire that in him.
Ryan Blackburn.
Coach, I know you've referenced consistency when talking about Jamal Murray making the leap. Does it really get any more consistent than the 10-game streak that he's on of 20-plus points right now?
Yeah, I'm really glad you brought that up because, you know, Jamal, I'm always on him. All right, I'm always on him and challenging him to be more consistent. But I have to say, this year, obviously his 5th year in the NBA, especially as of late, I think he's been terrific. You know, it's tough to ask any great player to score 30 and 10 every night. But the streak that Jamal is on, the efficiency, the scoring, the playmaking, the rebounding, the defense, the engagement, you know, there are some guys that made the All-Star team that are on teams with losing records. And I think Jamal Murray is definitely on the precipice of being an All-Star. You know, and I think you could have easily made a case for him to be an all-star this year with how well he has played as of late. We're 7-4 in our last 11 games. And I think in those 11 games, Jamal Murray is our leading scorer and doing it, like I stated earlier, at a really efficient level. He's not coming out jacking shots. He's doing it efficiently, which is what you want from your 2 best players in him and Nikola Jokic.
All right, Coach, we got time for one more. We're going to end with Esteban Abed.
Hi, Coach, from Córdoba, Argentina. Chicago pushed to the limit physically to Denver tonight. How do you describe the last 3 minutes of Denver to win the game?
Yeah, it was we got off to a great start tonight. Esteban, first quarter, looked like we were playing great. Give them credit. They crawled back into the game. They went on a big run to end the 3rd quarter, start the 4th. Got Nikola back in, kind of settled things down. And the last 3 minutes, to your point, was kind of back and forth. Who was going to come up with a big stop and who was going to execute on the offensive end? Will Barton made some big free throws. We got a couple of timely defensive stops and rebounds. We switched the matchup late. They were putting Thaddeus Young in pick and rolls. So we took Nikola off of Thaddeus Young, put someone else on, switched it to try to kill that play a little bit. And that would definitely helped us pull out the win. But hard-fought game, you know, 2nd game of a 4-game road trip. And we have a really tough challenge against Milwaukee tomorrow night, who's waiting for us in the splendid city. So thank you. Adios, amigo.
Thanks, Coach.
I know you've asked this before tonight.